in Pennsylvania, serving Philadelphia and the surrounding counties. And today I'm waiting for my mortgage expert. Today we're going to be talking about income limits for down payment assistant programs. Okay. What I'm finding out there as a realtor is people have money to pay for the monthly payment because they're paying rent right now. Okay. It's crazy because people really have five options when it comes to housing. Number one is they can live with somebody else, okay? They like a parent or something, or they can be homeless, okay? Or they can be in jail. All right, we don't want the jail or the homeless one, okay? Or what they could do is rent. If you're renting, you're paying 100% as far as the interest. Or what they do is they home. Okay. So that's what we're talking about, buying a home. So I'm going to bring her on here. She finally got pulled up. Give me 1 second. Hey, Sahai, can you?
Can I hear you?
Okay. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. How are you? Can you see me okay?
I can see you, but you're super blurry. Um,
Okay.
is that your phone?
No, this the light in the background of my house.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Alright.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Sahad is a mortgage expert, down payment expert, and she's currently with Movement Mortgage. So I wanted to bring her on because we've had a relationship for now a couple of years now. So I wanted to bring her on because anytime I have a question about down payment assistance programs, I go to her. So I wanted to have her jump on and kind of talk about the income limits. But before we get into the income limits of a down payment assistance program, Sahai, do you want to say anything more about yourself?
I am a licensed mortgage loan originator. I've been in the business just under 10 years. I specialize with down payment assistance and first time home buyers. I'm licensed in multiple states, and I'm also an advocate for those going through the home ownership journey. So even if I am not your lender, feel free to use me as a resource as you go through your home ownership process.
All right, and she's an outstanding resource. So we're gonna hop right into it, okay? Um, in Philadelphia, we have a bunch of programs and the surrounding counties. There's a bunch of programs out there, but what I've been running into is that I'll speak with individuals and their first time home buyers. But and this may be a good thing, is some people are making too much money to actually qualify for these down payment assistance programs. So I wanted to jump on here with her and kind of get a handle on these down payment assistance programs, what the income limits are. So I don't know where you want to start at.
Well, we'll start by the breakdown of city programs and state programs. So if you're tuning in from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania region, there's going to be programs specific to Philadelphia County. The most popular one right now is Philly First. So you may see that advertised as a $10,000 program or up to $10,000. That is specifically for those purchasing in Philadelphia County only. You cannot take that money if you're approved for it and then use it in Delaware County or Montgomery County. It is Philly First specifically for Philadelphia County. So that is one program. So there are county programs and then there are state programs. If you are going to other counties, Montgomery County has their own program as well, what is up to $10,000. Delaware County has a program that you may be able to get funding for. And what the clients need to understand is that every program, whether it's county or state, is going to have its own parameters around income limits as well as what you need to qualify. They're not all the same. So for the Philadelphia program, it's based off of household income. What that means is if you are on the mortgage by yourself, but you have family members 18 or older that are going to have income and live in that house you're purchasing, their income is going to be used as well to qualify you for that program. That's household income. So We'll start with that. These programs for Philly First is based off of your household income. The state
Now,
program,
can
which is
I
a
for
Mhm.
one can I stop you for 1 second? Just
Yep.
clarify. Um, what if I'm living in a house currently, just say
Mhm.
with two people, but when I go to move to this other home, I'm only going to live with the one person. So, am I putting the two people on that I'm living with right now, or am I putting just the one person that I'm going to be moving into that house with?
Just the person that you're moving into that house with. And they don't have to be on your mortgage application. So this program is separate from your mortgage, which you'll go through with your lender. This program is offered from the city that you can use with your mortgage to help pay your down payment and closing cost assistance. So whoever is going to be living in the house that you buy, that's who needs to qualify. Y'all need to qualify based on the household income. Who's going to be living in the house, not who you
And
currently
what's
live
that
with.
limit for Philadelphia?
So Philadelphia has a range. So if you are a one person household, one person that's going to be living in the home, the Philly first income limit is at the cap is at $73,800, and this is all readily available if you can go to Philly, type in Philly first on Google, or you can go through the housing counseling agencies. My preference is the Philadelphia Urban League. This information is all readily available. It will tell you what the income limits are for Philly First in a table. If you go up to a two-person household income, $84,350. Three-person, $94,900, and so forth and so on. So it will show you based on this number of people that'll be living in the property. This is the total amount of household income that they can have to qualify for the Philly First Assistance Program. And I
Gotcha.
want
So,
to
if you're
just
making six figures, if you're
mhm.
making six figures, you can't. Oh, and people should really understand that these programs are set for people who historically cannot afford a home. So, if you're making six figures, as far as the Philly first, right now, you tapped out for the most part.
For Philly First. So
Yes.
there are other, and I'll get to that. There's other programs available, and I just want to point out that these Philly First is not a grant. It is an assistance program, meaning it's not free money. There are parameters and rules that have to be met so that you don't have to pay that money back. But it's not free money or a grant. It is an assistance program, and it sits in second position. So I don't want to get too detailed, but I just want people to understand that that money is not free money, it's a grant. There's rules around it so that you don't have to pay it back. Now the
That's
state
why it's important
program,
with working somebody like
mhm,
you because um, sometimes what happens, and I've seen this, is that sometimes some other lenders aren't as experienced or knowledgeable about the programs. And then what'll happen is people will violate the program parameters and didn't have to pay the money back. So that's why it's important to work with somebody like Sahad that knows the ins and outs of these programs so they can put you on as far as the program's parameters and criterias so you don't have to pay the money back. I'm sorry, go ahead.
thank you. I appreciate that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're working with a lender that understands the guidelines of the program and also has a good relationship with the housing counseling agencies that facilitate the program. So you have your mortgage lender, myself, that qualifies you for a mortgage. Then you have your housing counselor that is going to qualify you for the Philly First program. They are submitting that application on your behalf with the information that I provide them. They're going to do their part to qualify you with the city of Philadelphia. You need to rely heavily on both of us in order to make sure that you're getting the assistance program that you're looking for and that you fit in the box. So if you have a lender that does not know the program or a realtor that's taking you to houses and they're not checking in with your loan officer, that could be a problem for you. You could fall in love with a house, right? Go under contract for it and then find out later from your lender, hey, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for this. We didn't talk about this first. So you want to make sure that you
Or
have
you
a
could go to the house. Oh, sorry. Or you
go.
could go to the house and buy the house and then turn
Mhm.
around and learn that you could have used the Philly first and saved that $10,000. That happens also.
Yep, that you don't even know it's available because your
Right.
real estate team didn't know that it was available in your area.
Right.
Um, the state program has different income limits, and also the state program has an option. Two things: Philly first, you need to be a first time home buyer in order to get the Philly First program. A first time home buyer means you have not had a property in your name in the last 3 years, meaning the deed to that property, the legal ownership of that property does not belong to you for 3 years. A lot of times people will say, well, I've never bought a house before, but I inherited one. Are you on the deed?
Right.
That can disqualify you. Now, there are special circumstances around it, but you got to talk to your loan officer so that we can then verify, hey, this house was inherited, this house was primarily used as something else, and get the okay from the housing counseling agency if they will approve that, because technically you're not a first-time home buyer if you own a home in the last three years. You want to make sure that you qualify. The state program, you don't have to be a first time home buyer to get down payment assistance. The state program is for the entire state of Pennsylvania. So that's the beauty of it. You will still get funding from the state for down payment assistance, but there's another set of rules and they cannot be combined. So you cannot combine the state program, PHFA, and Philly First together. They cannot be combined. That is the number one thing I hear people talk about.
Now, as far as what you just said in reference to you don't have to be a first time home buyer. So I just want to clarify that. So say I'm in Delaware, for example, and
Mhm.
I own a home, but now I want to own a home. I want to move back to Philadelphia and I want to buy
Mhm.
a home in Philadelphia. Will I qualify for down payment assistance program in this particular situation?
Yes, if you go through the state program, because you are not required to be a first time home buyer for some of the state programs. The state also
Okay.
has a program where there's much looser income levels, where there's no, you could go way over the first income set, and that is called K flex. There's one called K fit, and then there's another one called K flex, where it's much looser. So if you didn't meet the income requirements for Philly First, you may meet them through the state bond program, and that's something that your
Gotcha. So
loan
what's the
officer.
income limit for the K fit? What's the income limit for the K fit?
So K fit is based off of county. So depending what county you're purchasing in, there's a purchase price limit and an income limit unless you're purchasing what's considered a targeted area. So in Philadelphia County, that's a targeted area where the income restrictions are looser because it's a targeted area. You don't have to meet those parameters. Now, if you're in Delaware County or Montgomery County, there is a household income limit for one household member, two household members, three, four, etc. And I can tell you that for a in Montgomery County and in Delaware County, Chester County, Bucks County, these are all the ones outside of Philadelphia. A two-person household, one or two people, your income limit is 105, 105,400. If you have three or more people in your house, it's 121,200. So
Gotcha.
there's
If you're
those are a lot
so
lower than Philadelphia County, where those income limits are all the way up. If you're one person in a house, you can make up to $126,400 in
wow, so
Philadelphia County.
six-figure earners out there, six-figure earners, as far as Philly First, you may not be able to get money there because your income is more, but for the K-FIT, which is a state-run program, you would be able to get assistance.
Hmm. Yes.
Nice.
So that is definitely an option for those that make too much income. The institution that I work with, I'm with Movement Mortgage. We offer an $8,000 grant, and you don't have to meet any type of income criteria, and you
Right.
don't have to use it in one specific area. So if you currently live in the Philadelphia MSA region and you qualify for the grant, we will let you use that grant in Delaware or Maryland or the Carolinas if you're moving somewhere else. If you qualify where you currently live at, you can use our $8,000 grant and take it with you anywhere. You can also use our $8,000 grant on top of Philadelphia First. So if they give you
Oh,
$10,000 and you're purchasing in Philly, you qualified for Philly First, and then I give you $8,000, that's $18,000. And ours is a true grant. There's no paying it back. There's no special criteria outside of you have to be a first time home buyer to get it. You have to qualify for a conventional loan, which means your credit needs to be together.
okay.
But there's no income limits, and it is a true grant for $8,000
So
that can be combined
so
with Philly First.
with Philly First, can it be combined with the K-Fit also?
No, so it cannot be combined with KFIT, but you can
Gotcha. Okay.
combine it with Philly First. And that again is
Okay.
something that your loan officer will um, if I'm your loan officer, we're going to talk about it. But I hope that if you have a
Okay.
different loan officer, that you talk about what you can put together, what you cannot put together, and where
Okay.
you can do that. So a lot of first-time home buyers want to maximize. I want to get all of the down payment assistance and grant money that I can, and I can let you
Mhm.
know, well, this is what's available based on your profile, and this is where you can qualify to get the most assistance. You cannot combine a lot of these programs on top of each other. So if you applied at multiple different lenders and they all offer something different, you cannot take one from each and all stack them together. You cannot do that. But people
Right.
try.
They definitely do. Okay,
Mhm.
so just to recap, we have the Philly First. So if you're a six-figure owner, a six-figure earner, okay, I'm talking to you
Mhm.
guys right now. You guys out there, a lot of people's goals out there is to make six figures. So you're at that place, you've made six figures, you're in the Philadelphia area, and you want to buy a home. The Philly First, you're not going to be able to qualify because you make too
You
much.
may. You
Um,
may. It depends on how many people are in your house.
Gotcha. And how many I wanna say how many kids, but how many people need to be in my house for if I make six figures in order for me to qualify for the Philly First?
So if you are a one parent and you have three children, non-income producing children, you can make up to $105,400. There's your six-figure mark. So if you're making over 100 grand a year and you have three kids, you qualify.
And then I can
You
use the movement mortgage, grant on top of that.
yes, yes. As long as you
Nice,
qualify
nice.
conventional. So your credit's got to be together, and you have to be a first-time
Right,
home buyer.
right.
Mhm.
Okay. For the movement mortgage grant, is there a 3-year look back also?
No, no, this is a grant. So 3-year look back as far as first time home buyer, yes. So that's
Okay,
all across the board of lending. You are a first time home
okay,
buyer if you have not had a property in your name in the last 3 years, or you've
okay.
never purchased a house. Period. You must be a first time home buyer.
Okay. Now what I come across a lot is you'll have a married couple. Okay.
Mhm.
So the husband has a property in his name, but the wife doesn't. And the wife isn't on any mortgages, she's not on any deeds. So in
Mhm.
this particular situation, and she's going to be on the mortgage by herself. Does she qualify? Is there any grants or any programs that she would qualify for?
So you just said it. She's going to be on the mortgage by herself. She's a first
Yes.
time home buyer. Our
Okay.
grant doesn't have anything to do with anyone who's not on the mortgage. So our grant
Okay.
is whoever is on the mortgage. That's the only
Okay.
person that I'm looking at. I'm not looking at anybody else that lives in your house. Your spouse does not count because if your spouse is not on this mortgage, I'm not looking at them. I am only
Oh,
qualifying the
wow.
person that's on the mortgage for our grant. So husband owns 10 properties. He's not on our mortgage. Wife's never owned a property. She can qualify.
Okay. That definitely makes sense. Wow. I thought my mic wasn't on for 1 second. Okay. All right. So in the recap, this is second recap, is that if you're a six-figure earner, you're in Philadelphia, you need three kids. Well, if you're a single parent and you have three kids, then you would qualify. But if you don't, if you're a single person, then you wouldn't qualify for the Philly First. But there are state-run programs out there that you may qualify for.
Mhm.
If you're a single person, I guess how with the state program, whether it's K Fit or what's the other one?
Flex. K
Okay.
Flex.
Um, K Flex. How much can a person earn if they're a single person? How
Mhm.
much could they earn in order to get some down payment assistance?
K Flex doesn't have an income restriction.
Oh, wow. Okay. K Flex doesn't have an income restriction at all. So you can make whatever. I mean, I won't okay, what if you're a millionaire? I guess there's some type of restriction that would restrict a millionaire from getting that. Is that correct?
So what they do have in place is you can't have more than $50,000 of liquid assets
Okay.
in your name. Again, these programs are designed for those who need assistance. And I
Okay.
just want to clarify, you don't have to be a single person with children. You can just be one person. You could have three other adults that live with you. If none of them are producing any income, then that's fine as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be children. It just household size. Whoever that is, more bodies that live in the house, doesn't matter who they are. If they're going to be living with you and
Mhm,
they don't have any income, we're going to look at them as household
mhm,
size. So it doesn't have to be children per se, be anybody. But you can't have more than $50,000 of liquid assets in your bank account if you're using the state program. And I rarely see that. If you have $50,000 of your own money and you're willing, ready, and able to purchase a home, I can
mhm,
understand wanting to use down payment assistance. Um, but with respect to those that have challenges purchasing because they don't have assets, this is for those that need the money. So
right.
no
Okay.
judgment, but
All
I
right.
rarely see it.
Right. Well, and guys, we're not looking to go into the weeds. I guess what all of this is trying to say is that you need to find knowledgeable individuals on these down payment assisted programs. Okay.
Mhm.
Just going down to your local bank. I know a lot of people I talk to, and their first reaction sometimes is to just go down to their local bank. Okay, I've been banking with Bank Main Street ABC for 13 years. Let me go down there and they should take care of me. Banks are really good at checkings and savings accounts, but a lot of them aren't good when it comes to lending. And really, the plug for the lending experience, and I want you guys to listen to this. The plug for the lending experience is the mortgage officer, okay? The mortgage officer. So you need a good mortgage officer. A lot of times it doesn't even matter about the institution because if your if your mortgage officer sucks, then you're not going to be represented in a good way, okay? Sahad is one of the best out there. So if you do
Thank
want
you.
to be represented by somebody who is knowledgeable about their business, that's that's number one, but that's 1A. But 1B is also cares. Okay. That's 1B. That's close to number one. You want a mortgage officer that cares also, and she cares about each individual client. So to wrap this up, where can they find you at? If somebody wants more information, where can they find you?
So you can find me on social media. Instagram, I am at the mortgage match. My direct line is 267-629-4181. That Philly number is never changing. You can call me, text me. You can friend me on Facebook. My name is Sahad Washington. I'm on TikTok at the Mortgage Match, and you can find me now on YouTube. My channel is the Home Buyer Advocate, and on that channel, all we talk about is how you can learn how to advocate for yourself in your mortgage process and get the lender's perspective on what we're looking at when you go through your pre-approval to mortgage process. Just getting started. Just getting started how to get you ready. So Sahad Washington on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, The Mortgage Match, and on YouTube, The Home Buyer Advocate.
All right, guys, this is Khalid Nathan Aleem, the real estate boy. Thank you. I'm gonna be bringing you experts every Friday. Okay, Friday from 9 till we just go. Okay, so it's going to start at 9 every Friday. You'll be able to find me on all of these live streams, whether it's Facebook, um, TikTok, all the platforms, Real Estate Boy or Khalid Nathan Aleem. All right, y'all. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate, I got you. All right, y'all. We out.